What's up, people? Welcome back to another explanation video. This time, I'm gonna go over the divine objects that drops from the divine beast from the DLC one, and I'm gonna go over it and talk about these items, and then I'll talk about the divine beast and give you guys an idea if the weapons, how the weapons are, how good they are they like the best weapon in the game right now, and etc. So yeah, with that being said, let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna go over each one of those divine objects, and I wanna talk about them specifically by each one. So with that being said, I'm gonna go over the spear first. Now the spear, it's dropped from the Forgotten King from the desert. He is actually quite annoying, at level 400 for sure. Like, first thing I want to mention is that all these divine beasts, they're extremely difficult, and besides that, and it takes a long time, especially like hazard them and etc. But like, like the first time fighting them, it was quite awful because it's just like trying to figure out like how to deal with them and etc. But after you fight them quite a bit, there's some like tips and tricks and stuff, but you still have to run out the circle and come back because there's just really no way to stay in within the circle and trying to rebuff everything, because you're pretty much gonna, if your god roll runs out, your entire team will be practically your entire team will get insta kill. You cannot survive the fights in there at all, like literally. If you, and there's really no way to one down kill them or doing like massive amount of damage, like for just one. Just like when you're doing this like solo, there's really no way to speed farm them at all. You have to, your best choice is you just really have to go out the circle and come back. Take off your AI, make re-equip them, and then your cooldown comes back. Buff everything, go back in, fight them all. It's a cheesy method, but you gotta do what you gotta do. In the end of the day, you just want to beat it. That's it. Because right now, there's really no other ways to beat them fast in solo. Multi is different, but solo, you really have to run out. It's just, it's like I say, it's really like almost impossible to stay in there doing damage. I mean, I'm not worried about my character or your character stay alive. You mostly likely worry about your AIs to stay alive, because they carry all the buffs. When it goes down and then they get back up while they're cooling down the buffs, it will take even longer. So just run out and come back. But yeah, after repeat that, each fight is, some bosses only takes about like 10 minutes. Some might take 15, it depends. But the divine beasts are just, it's just the hazard bar is just too much. Most of them really takes about more like around one galvanized, if it's not a little bit less, but somewhere there to hazard them. So that hazard gauge is just insane. Like putting the venomous curse and the falcon fist will definitely help to hazard them a little bit faster for sure. But this still takes quite a bit of hazard to even hazard them. Or you can do the other way, just put a mind break on, go back, wait till it cool down, just use a mind break on them, then instant down them. And then all you gotta do is just wait for the mind break to cool down, and that's the other way to do it. But regardless, it doesn't matter which way you're doing it, is you have to come back, go out of the circle and come back, because these guys are just way too like insane, like with the DPS and stuff. Even tanks with 500k HP and stuff, they're still gonna get one shotted. So it's like, it is just insane. Like they hit way too hard. But yeah, that's pretty much the general tricks for the to how to beat the divine beast. Now I'm gonna get to, is it worth it to farm these weapons? So I want to talk like the answer is, if you can farm it, then yes, farm these divine objects. They are actually the best weapon in the game. It is more powerful than the well, for that version of gear. Like, it is more powerful than the extreme and XT gears. So they're just insane. But the RNG of dropping good stats are difficult. For example, I'm like, this what I'm showing is a spear. Now the spear, the highest I've seen for the strength are the 80s. Vitality maybe in the 50s. Dex it's about 60s, I think. So those are the highest I've seen. But that is just incredible. Like the stats on there, it's just insane. But the problem is farming them. It's really, really hard. It takes time. Most people probably couldn't do them right now. It's just too hard to fight them. Like they require so much accuracy on PlayStation. Like I heard people from PC and stuff, they use a lot less accuracy for some reason. But that's just strange. Yeah, it takes a lot of setups to fight them, and you have to repeat. It takes time as well. So yeah, other than that, the answer for these objects, divine objects, they are powerful if you can get them. But the stats on there, it's random. It's back to the extreme, where you have to farm and consecutively. Like, you have to keep farming and farming until you get the god roll. So that's just tough to get. But once you do get a really good one, yeah, it is literally the best. It is the best weapon for that weapon type in the game right now. But I'm gonna talk about the bow last. I just want to show you guys like the spear, the mace. I'm gonna talk about spear drops from the Forgotten King. The mace drop from the Void Spear from the east. The whip drops from the princess from the north, and then the bow drops from the west in the castle. So those are the 4 divine objects. They don't have the sword. There's nobody to really farm for the Forget Me Not. So those are the only current 4 divine objects that you can farm for in the DLC that drops from the divine beast. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over the stats. So this is the spear. It has like the usual. You have different passives, and then the enhanced armament. And I don't have everything on this like spears and other gears, but I can show some of the best one that I kept, because it's hard to farm these weapons to get what you want. It's like, first thing first, it takes a really long time, but when you do get it, it is really good. Compared to the extreme, that is a huge difference. It's like mine doesn't even have bonds. When this thing is like fully bond, it is gonna be insane. Like this one was like 60 something, and then like 50 something dex. It's not even it's not even at the 70s 80s strength. So this thing could potentially go even higher. But the thing is hard. It was hard to farm. So I'm just gonna show you guys what I have for the time being. I'm still farming. I haven't even farmed a bow yet, since I just got 1 copy of it. The mace I farmed a couple, but I'm mainly focused on getting the whip and the spear for the time being. So this is the spear. I'm gonna go over the whip real quick. Let me scroll up. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, the whip's as high as strength as I've seen. It's 80s. Vitality is in the 50s. I don't know if it can go up to 60s. That's why I'm not sure. Dex 60 plus. That whip was 65, so I'm not sure if it goes up to 70s or not. It is hard to confirm these stats. They're just bad. Like it's really hard to get. Like believe me, I got like quite a few of 10 strength, like 10, 20, 30s. Like all these stats, they're low. When they go really low. So I don't always get the high stats. It's just it's just like based on RNG. You gotta farm for it and hope the best. If you farm extreme stuff, this is something to expect. But this is this is practically the new extreme gears now, like farming for it, but they're not. It's better. So the whip does give quite a bit of stuff. So the special accuracy, the max I've seen, when you fully upgrade it, you can get up to 100 special accuracy, which is the cap at the moment. For the base accuracy, those weapons can the highest accuracy I've seen from the base whip is 99. So you don't have to. I mean, it caps at 100 regardless how you upgrade it. So there's really no point to get a like super high accuracy. I say maybe in the 60s is fine, because regardless how you, or 60s, 70s, regardless how you upgrade it, like you will get to 100, because 100 is what you're aiming for if it is possible to get the. But it will max out anyway. But the thing is, in this game, the accuracy, it doesn't give you more accuracy after past 90 something. They haven't lifted that cap yet, but the weapon caps at like accuracy is at 100. So I say get 90 something accuracy is fine, but most important are the stats. If you can get them, they are just extremely difficult to get. So like this is the whip. Now I'm gonna go over the maze. I'm still farming for the maze. I'm gonna try to get a good version and see how it goes. But like without being said, like these gears already better and stronger than the extreme, easily. Like, and the XT version of any gears. So the string as high I see is just 80 right now. It's there. Somebody told me vitalities can go up to 60s. Dex, I'm not sure, maybe in the 60s or 70s. Accuracy is always the same. It'll go up to like somewhat of 100, probably base. But yeah, the maze is definitely OP. I will be using that for sure. It's really hard to get, but I do want to make a video of all these divine object weapons. Show the gameplay and stuff. But at first, I need to get them first. Other than that, yeah, I'm gonna go over the bow. I really want to talk about the bow. That's something is just, yeah, kind of sad. Not gonna lie, because I'm excited when I saw the bow. I'm like, yo, this thing is gonna be, OP. But as soon as I saw the vitality and stuff, I'm like, oh my god, these guys. What are these guys doing? Like, they need to stop trolling the bow in this game. I mean, the bow does, like, we need a better bow. Like they're good. They're not breaking the game or anything anymore. Like, I don't understand. Who puts vitality on a bow when none of the skill that uses. None of the adjustment. Like for bow really use vitality for DPS. It's kind of, I'm just disappointed. Like, this bow could have been like the best bow right now if they changed the vitality to strength or agility. Like, either one is fine, or make it like 3 stats, like strength, vitality, dex, just like the other weapons. I don't understand why they make this bow a vitality out of anything. Like, there's really, they were like, here's a good bow, but with the vitality. I just hate the fact they kept trolling people with the bow, because we really need a good bow. Like, the extreme bow is not gonna be enough for these high raids and stuff. We will need like a good bow. This DLC could have been it. Like, could have been giving us like the best bow for like the longest time. Like Xenon's bow is good, but we can't use it, so it kind of sucks. So like the highest I've seen is probably in the 80s for the vitalities. Dex, I have no idea to be honest. Like probably similar, either 60, between 60 range to 80 somewhere, or could be higher. I have no idea. I haven't farmed it too much yet, but accuracy wise, it can go up pretty high. My guess is probably 100. So these, out of all the weapons, the bow is probably the most disappointed, like as usual. I mean, this bow could have been so good. It has so much potential, but well, I don't know what the devs thinking. Like always, when you make a bow, you just give them a stats that don't make sense. So it's whatever though. I mean, I will try to farm for this bow and see if there. I will test it if I get a good version and see how it goes compared to the other bows. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure because it has accuracy, that's for sure. But Dex, I mean not Dex, Vitality, it's not really gonna affect anything, you know. So that's what I'm worried about it. But you never know. It could. The bow can be useful, but on the other hand, I don't see it yet. Like I said, I will have to get a good version and upgrade it and test it. But when, you know, until that time, I can't really give you guys an answer if this bow is better than the others for the time being. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for all 4 divine objects. You know, 3 of them, no doubt about it, it is the best weapons in this game right now. Like for that type of weapon, those are extremely powerful when you can get the stats for it, you know. So the bow, still not sure yet. I'm just gonna leave it here, you know, like I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to see when I get the better version and test it out myself. But I will give you guys an answer when that time comes. Other than that, yeah. So in the end of the day, the divine beast is very difficult to farm, and I don't expect a lot of people will be able to farm them, you know, knowing that like the amount of HP, accuracy, hazard, and all the etc. stuff. You know, it takes a long time. It really takes a lot of setups for it, but this is probably the hardest, you know, currently bosses in the game. So it won't be easy, but if you guys are able to farm it and looking for the best gear in the game, the divine object is, you know, the best at the moment for that, you know, specific weapon type. And I do recommend to pick it up if it is possible. If not, don't worry, just use, you know, whatever you have. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I want to talk about is just these items, you know, are they worth it? Like what kind of stats on there? You know, that's pretty much what I want to talk about. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Next time come back, I'll try to get the gameplay for the bow if it's possible. It does take time to farm, so I don't expect posting it early because I need to max out the weapon, I need to max out the bonds and etc. So it'll take a while before I completely, you know, done with all 4, you know, divine objects and really show the gameplay, you know, fighting bosses and other stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time.